Time to share the loadout of my pack. Hello fellow gear junkies, I'm Nika, and I've spent a lot of time in my off-grid life kind of living, working, and functioning out of a pack. Not only off-grid, but hiking and camping. The first pack I ever started with was essentially like a school backpack. But of course, for kind of hiking, camping, off-gridness, it wasn't quite an appropriate pack, and it just didn't have like the pockets and stuff that I liked. So I got a hiking pack that was similar to this one, but not this one. Really liked the pack, but it was at that time that I started getting more MOLLE pouches, and MOLLE pouches just didn't work with that pack. So I decided to start my MOLLE pack journey on the small side. I started with this little pack that held my first couple MOLLE pouches. I was sad because it didn't have MOLLE webbing on the bottom pouch, but this did give me a good start in kind of knowing and learning what I would want in like a bigger MOLLE backpack. This pack now serves as my gas mask pack. Say that 3 times fast. Of course, it has my filters too. This little pack is also meant to go on the back of my plate carrier. From that MOLLE pack, I upgraded to this MOLLE pack. I really like this MOLLE pack. It served me well for a long time, but I definitely grew out of it pretty quick when it came to getting more MOLLE pouches, and they just didn't all fit onto this pack. I did make a modification on this pack because it didn't have straps on the bottom, so I sewed some on. And the other thing with this pack is the shoulder straps were just pretty thin little pieces of that nylon webbing. So I did get connector strap pieces that would make them thicker straps, as well as they had pockets, and they're now on this pack. But this pack served me really well for a long time, and it is now my jute and hemp rope and climbing rope and gear pack. And from that pack I got this pack, and this pack still is a bit too small. I want more room on the inside, but it does mostly hold my pouches. I still do need to upgrade from this pack. I don't want one too big, but definitely a bit bigger than this one. But it works really nice for now. Now time to share everything that I have in my pack and in the pouches and other stuff that go with my pack. I did offload everything because I figured that'll be the easiest way to show you, and as I show you, I'll load it back onto the pack. And I do want to start off with saying, yes, you're going to see some redundancy. There's going to be some things that you're like, why is that in there? And that's because I like to have these things in my pack. We're all going to build, situate, organize our packs differently. And especially since I need a bigger pack, all the stuff on it looks a little kajangled, but it actually is really well organized for me. We'll start off with the inside of my pack. I like to pack everything in containers, pouches, or rolls. And we'll start with the rolls. This first roll is a shawl, so instead of carrying around like a fat bulky towel, I have this shawl. So not only for like towel purposes, you can cover up with it, you can hang it up to create shade, you can wrap it around yourself to protect yourself. I like having a shawl in my pack. Next I have a clothes roll, and in this clothes roll are undies, socks, a shirt, and then leggings. My sweatshirt roll. This is a blow-up sleeping pad. A lot of times, like, I'll just sleep on the ground or like on a tarp or something like that, but this blow-up sleeping pad was a nice upgrade for me. I also like using hammocks. This is a bulky hammock, and one day I will get one of the nice, smaller, compressed, packable hammocks, but for now, I've got this one. Next, I have these solar panels. I've had these solar panels for a really long time, so they are kind of worn on the front, but these are really great if you need to be able to charge your phone, charge a battery pack, charge a flashlight. And it has a pocket on the back where I have extra charge cords, so I have a cord for whatever I need. It's been very handy on many occasions. I have this lightweight pair of water shoes, just in case like my shoes get wet, my shoes are rubbing funny. I have a pair of protect your toe shoes that I can wear if I don't want to wear my other shoes for some other reason, or maybe if I'm going swimming, some water shoes. I have my big Bowie knife. I have a life straw for drinking water. I have 2 water bladders in this back pocket. This first one is a platypus water bladder. It's more like a water bottle bladder. I like to have this one because a regular soda cap fits on the top of it. So I have a cap in my bathroom pouch with a bunch of holes in it. So if I want to take a shower, I can put that cap on this and have a shower. So it's nifty to carry water and as a shower bag. And then I have just like a regular old water bladder. I do want to upgrade this one. This isn't the fanciest one, but this is definitely something I want to upgrade. There's these two mesh pockets. In the first pocket, I have some warm gloves and a bandana. There's many uses for a bandana except a bandana: filtering water, a bandage, maybe an arm sling. In the top pouch, I have socks and undie rolls, so extra socks and undies. Then I've got these three nice pockets. We'll start with the bottom pocket. I have a thick black garbage bag, mostly because if I go somewhere and there's garbage everywhere, I'm one of those people and I will pick up all that trash. So it's nice to always have a garbage bag for that, as well as it can be used to harvest water, keep things dry, perhaps wrap something if you needed an emergency, keep a wound or something dry. I have a little glue box that has my super glue and my outdoor glue, so just patching stuff up glue. I have one of those metal pepper containers full of various kinds of string. I have survival paracord that has fishing line, tinder, and good tensile strength string. I have just some thick string, shoelaces, and then just kind of regular whatever kind of crafty string. This Altoids tin is my patch kit. Inside I have some little scissors. I have duct tape, and I pack my duct tape onto like plastic gift cards. It's just a really good way to pack duct tape without it being in a roll. And then I have a bunch of different types of patches. You can buy little box patch kits, and so I have all those pieces in here, as well as on the bottom I have pieces of like canvas if I need to patch something canvasy. I have this multi-tool. I've had this multi-tool for like as long as I can remember, and it has never let me down. So this is my pack multi-tool. And this roll here is a full sewing kit. So in this pocket, I have little spools of fishing line, wire, of course thread, there's buttons, safety pins, and then I have various kinds of needles, just about any kind of needle you might need, as well as a couple of fishing hooks. And in this side, I have chunks of fabric and jeans and patches to be able to patch whatever I need. In the middle pouch, I actually created another pocket because the back of the pouch did not have a pocket, so I made one. And what I got in this pocket is one of those heavy-duty shock waterproof type of battery packs, as well as it has a flashlight. I really like these. They're super nifty and handy and durable for being in my pack. Those little mini fly tackle boxes, I really like these for organization. And this is essentially my hardware box. On the big side, I have extra wire, I have rings, I have eye hooks, I have nails, screws of various sizes. On the other side, I have thicker wire, I have some clips, more little hardware, and a full mini fishing kit. This is for essentially needing to fix certain things, put things together, build something, as well as to make traps and snares. In these pockets, I have a sandbag, which can be super handy in different situations if you need to weigh something down. There was one time in Montana, it was super windy and we were camping, and I just wanted a sandbag to hold my tent down so it wouldn't blow away. But there's been a few situations where a sandbag could have been handy, as well as it's another form of being able to carry stuff around. I have this piece of tent mesh. Not only can you use this to patch tents and such, but if you've ever been somewhere where you get bugs all up in your eyes and your nose and your mouth and you never want to deal with that, this can be wrapped around your head to protect you from those bugs, as well as to like maybe initially filter water. But that's actually what this little pouch is for the initial water filtration. If I needed to, this will get all the big chunky stuff out of the water before I would say drink through the life straw. But of course it can be used as a bag to carry stuff around or when I'm harvesting something. This is my bat phone. I think this is actually something that's very important to have in a pack, is just an extra phone with some minutes, and even if it doesn't have minutes, as long as it is charged or you can charge it, you should be able to contact emergency numbers. So I always have a charged bat phone in my pack. And inside this bat phone is actually an old photo ID, because I feel it's important to have some form of ID with you, and usually it's going to be in your wallet or whatnot, but just having something extra to identify yourself, or maybe you get lost without your pack, they can know who this pack belongs to and this person may be lost, or just kind of that idea, an extra ID. There's also a charge cord for it in here. in this top pouch. Usually these top pouches are for stuff that you want to kind of be able to get to quickly, but all that stuff is in these pouches that go like on the backpack, so I've got other stuff in here. But I've got an extra clip for my pew pew. I have a mini Altoids tin full of some extra batteries. I've got these cute little fold-out scissors. I have a fabric measuring tape. I have an extra flashlight. This one runs on a battery, so this one is not rechargeable, but I got a battery flashlight. I've got this knife sharpener that also comes with some of the knife tools for tool maintenance, as well as like a can opener and a pop topper. I also have a knife sharpening stone, as well as a nice multi-tool. I have a fat pencil, and I have these mini deck of cards that I like to play solitaire with. As for the straps, these pockets here, those straps that I was talking about earlier that add on to whatever thin straps, but they give you some pockets. In this first pocket, I've got a bigger, heftier flashlight. This also has green, blue, and red light on it, and it's rechargeable. There's a gaiter in this part of the pack that you can put over your face if it's cold or if it's dusty or something like that. You need to protect your breathing holes. In the pouch above it, I have a little tie-down strap that can be used as a belt, or as well as maybe to strap things to my pack, or whatever you may need that kind of thing for. On the other side, this flashlight here is nice because if I need light, I can just click it on and use it, but if it runs out, I also have a headlamp in here. You may be like, why all the flashlights? Because for me, in my experiences, I always run out of light, or I can't keep things charged enough, or things die quicker than I expect them to, so I always have lots of light. And in this bottom pouch, I have hand sanitizer. I have this little keychain I made that has little doggy bags in it, and this is for many things, from dog poop to garbage to I'm a lady, and during lady times of the month, you need somewhere to put things, and that's what these bags are for. And I also have my emergency albuterol inhaler. I find it important that if you know someone who has asthma or breathing problems, it's really awesome to carry around an extra one. Of course, you got to make sure it's the right stuff for that person, but I always have one, mostly for me, but just in case for someone else too. And on this strap, I have this very large yellow handkerchief or bandana or whatever these huge ones are called. But I have this one, of course, for kind of like emergency bandage purposes, covering your hair, your face, or something like that. But this one is bright because it's one that I can use to signal. I can rip strips off of it to be able to mark a path. This one is more for being seen or being able to signal with something bright. So if I don't want to be seen, this does go into my pack. But that's not really an issue most of the time. Like, I'd like people to kind of know I'm there, especially in places where there's lots of hunting. Having something bright can be important for that reason. I wish it was orange, but I got a yellow one for now. And then dangling on the little handle, I have one of those bracelets that all the 90s kids love. But it's reflective, and it's just another way to kind of be seen and that kind of thing. So if I was walking alongside the road, I'd, probably put this on my wrist or on my head or something, just somewhere where it can use its reflective properties to keep me safe. But it's also fun. I have this little clip thing in case I need to clip things together. Having one of these is nifty. A MOLLE connector piece, and one of those little bungee loop things for just connecting stuff to my pack. So that is the base of the pack. And now we'll start digging through the pouches. And as we dig through the pouches, I'll put them back on my pack and reload my pack. Oh, I did forget this pouch that is configured to the bottom, and this is my backpack cover. So if it's raining or snowing and I need to protect my pack, I have a pouch that has my cover in it. Before we start off with the pouches, this is my kind of tent roll. I have tent poles, a tarp, and a blanket. Yes, I don't have a tent or a sleeping bag. And that's because here in Arizona, I really am not worried about needing those unless I was in an area where the desert effect makes the nights super cold or it was winter. But also I need a more packable tent. The tent I have is huge and just doesn't really work with my pack setup. So another thing I'm saving up for is a fancy, lightweight, packable tent. But like I said about the sleeping pad, I don't mind just sleeping on the ground. I just need a tarp, but I also have my hammock. But the tarp can be used for all the things a tarp can be used for, and half the time all you really want when you go places is at least a blanket. and those get strapped on the bottom. And as I said, I took the straps from my other pack to create straps on the bottom of this pack. The pack came with the loops for the straps, but not the straps, so I stole straps from my other pack. And before I close those straps up, I have my little rope kit. I have some natural jute rope, as well as some good proper climbing rope. And in the pouch that's on it, I have like a dog hook thing, because those can be nifty to have sometimes. Not so much for climbing, but like if there's a loose dog or your leash breaks while you're camping, you got one of those. I have rings, carabiners, as well as when my grapple hook is not on my belt, this is the pouch it goes into. That also goes on the bottom of my pack. This little pouch here has my wee binoculars that goes into my side pocket. And in the other pocket goes my flask. I like to carry around some sort of alcohol for emergency fire starter, wound cleaning, but if you're taking a trip and you need something to take the edge off, you got it. Now let's start with the pouches. First pouch is my aid kit. I have a little aid thing on there, so hopefully everybody knows if it was needed that this is my aid kit. Got my trauma shears ready for action. Now my aid kit is definitely stuffed. There's a lot more that I want and need to put in my aid kit, but first I need a bigger aid kit pouch. I had one, I outgrew, I had another one, I outgrew, I got this one, I outgrew it. But I'll try to run through everything kind of quick. In this pouch here, I have lots of different types of gauze, as well as some compressed gauze over here. I have a zillion different types and sizes of Band-Aids. I have latex and non-latex in case someone's allergic to latex. I have lots of little alcohol or iodine prep pads, so you don't have to carry around like a bottle of alcohol, but once I get a bigger one, I'd probably put a little bottle of alcohol in there. And it may seem funny, but I also have little panty liners in here, and of course because I'm a girl and having some extra of those is nice, but also because it works as like a cheap moleskin. You can cut off a piece and put it on you where something may be rubbing, and of course it could be emergency like Band-Aid as well. Here I have a compression bandage. I have some chapstick. In this container, it's an old lipstick that I actually filled with charcoal for like poisoning kind of issues or to help get toxins and stuff out of the skin. I have iodine, liquid bandage, nail clippers, tweezers. I have antibiotic cream, hydrocortisone cream, and lidocaine cream. On the other side, I have some compressed gauze. I have an emergency blanket, tampons. I have antibiotics in case something bad happens and you're worried about infection. Emergency use just in case, no infection, antibiotics. I have blood stop. I have another card of duct tape, latex and non-latex tape, some medical wrap, a roll of gauze, an ace wrap, some gloves. I've got some zip ties. This Altoids tin here is full of pills, and some of the most important pills I think you should carry are anti-vomiting and anti-diarrheal pills. I also have allergy pills, headache pills, aspirin, stuff like that. And this Altoids tin is full of some more gloves. And then this pouch here is actually a full suture kit. So it's got the forceps, the types of tweezers, scissors, little pokers, scalpels, and then this has the little light, the actual sutures and needles, the actual scalpel blades. And then I do have some butterfly bandages if someone doesn't want to get sewn up. Or the super glue. Super glue, sewn, or butterfly. Whichever one is needed or can be dealt with. I had gotten one of these kits just to practice with, but it was such a great kit, I got another that goes into my aid kit. And I also have some giant forceps. I hope I don't have to dig anything too serious out of anybody, but I've got these just in case. Next pouch is my fire pouch. My friend got me one of those paracord bracelets that has a little flint in the middle of the clip and a little striker, as well as a little compass. So that's cute, so it goes on that pouch. On the inside, I have weatherproof matches. I have this little pouch. It has a magnifying glass, a Zippo lighter, a pencil sharpener to make really fine kindling, and this little container I made. And it has one of those wire saws in it, so it's more just like an emergency need to cut wood saw. I do want one of the fancier ones that look kind of like a chainsaw saw. This little container has crayons in it, Crayons can make a good fire starter, an emergency candle, as well as like emergency writing utensil because rain won't wash them off. So it's a waterproof way to mark a path, give an emergency note or letter or something like that. This little container is a candle that can be used for light or to like be able to cook or roast something. This little container has some of that funny fire start. I have my knife and my ferro rod. I have a couple of popsicle sticks, either to like splint a finger, but also make some good emergency kind of kindling, or like a fire stick to light something else on fire. I have this jute rope that's been soaked in wax and Vaseline, where I can light the end of it and have a fire start, a candle. It's just a nifty little piece of rope. You can chop it up in little pieces to help you start a fire, but then if this end is burning, you just pull the metal tube up and it puts it out for you. And then I have this telescopic straw that can of course be a straw, but it's also to be able to blow into the flame without putting your face all up in the fire. And in the bottom I do have a piece of leather, so if I'm going to do a friction fire, I have some padding to be able to do a friction fire. Next is my bathroom pouch. This little pouch is the same pouch my little shovel pouch on my belt is in, but if I want the shovel to be on my pack, it goes right here. Because you know I can take this and go to the bathroom. But it has a couple pockets. This first little bottom pocket, because I'm a lady, I have a reusable pad and my moon cup, as well as a toothbrush, toothpaste tablets, and some floss. And I like to have my lady stuff just like right there, right where I can grab it, because if you're a lady, you know that sometimes you just need to be able to grab that stuff super quick. This top little pocket has some chapstick, some rash cream for if you're out in nature and you have a rash. And this little chapstick tube actually has some hand soap in it, so if I need to wash my hands, I can just pop this open, suds up, close it, and we're good. The big pouch has baby powder, of course, to stop chafing and rubbing, help keep your feet dry, that kind of thing. Lotion. I love toilet paper tablets. You can carry around a lot of toilet paper in these tablets, and they're just fabulous. This is a big container of just hand and body soap. So if, you know, taking a shower, you can just rub, be able to close it back up. Helps keep it clean when you're out in nature. This Altoids tin is full of more toilet paper tablets. This tin here has nail clippers, nail files, extra ponies, bathroom stuff. I have a couple of disposable pads and tampons. I have these little bits of cloth as just like kind of rags, wash rags, as well as a regular wash rag. Also in here is that soda lid top I was talking about for my little platypus water bladder to turn it into a shower. This is my food pouch. It's actually 3 pouches that make one big pouch until I figure out a big pouch that works for what I need it for. In this first little pocket, I've got all my utensils. I have one of those little Swiss Army knives with the toothpicks on it, mostly because the toothpick. I have one of those fold-out fork and spoon pocket knives. The fork has a can opener, the spoon has a knife. I have another mini multi-tool, but this one's meant to be just for food. I have one of those army can openers, and I eat with chopsticks a lot, so I have a pair of screwed together chopsticks. In this pouch here, I have bits of MREs. My friend gave me MREs, and I definitely kept some of that to put in here. I've got some black beans and taco meat. I figure high density kind of calorie food. I've got some crackers. I have peanut butter, honey, jelly, molasses, and brown sugar. I deal with kind of low blood sugar problems, so I like to have good sweet stuff in here for that, but also in case anybody else deals with that, I have some good sugary stuff that can help with that problem, as well as some gum. For all the reasons you'd want to have some gum, but also kind of the survival reasons you may want some gum. In this pouch, I have a little mini tank of the kind of propane for the little mini camper stoves. And then I have one of those fancy heat kind of oil wicks, so you can have a candle or a way to heat food or yourself. I'm not a big fan of carrying kind of oil stuff like this in my pack, but these seem to be pretty good and hard to like leak into your pack. In the big pouch, that was my old aid kit actually, but I outgrew it, became where my food goes. I've got one of these fold out kind of dishes where you have your plate, your pot, and your frying pan. And in the pot, I have the ultimate seasonings mix. It's lots of garlic and paprika and salt and all the good stuff that can make anything taste good. And then I have this mini cup. My grandma gave this to me, so I've had it since I was like super little, but it's just a nice little cup that folds. I have my mini cast iron because I truly believe in always cooking on cast iron, and sometimes these aren't really great for cooking because it sticks really bad, and to me the extra weight of this little dude is worth it. I have a big stir spoon. Here's the little stove to my little propane. The little tank sits here. Flame on. Just like the duct tape, I'll put tin foil around like a gift card, make it into kind of a flat roll, wrap it around the card. You have easily packable tin foil. I have a fabric napkin. I have the extra heaters from the MREs that can be good as just emergency keep you warm, but also to warm your food. I have some drink mixes from the MREs, as well as the little coffees and creamers from the MREs. Just having some emergency coffee is always nice. It can help raise the spirit when needed. Same thing with the Starbursts that are in here. The food and snacks that are in this pouch definitely are kind of more on the side of for emergencies. I would pack other food with me and not rely on this, but this stuff is more just like emergency, just in case. There's a little bit of food always with my pack. I am missing sardines though. That is one of my rules, is to always have a tin of sardines in your pack, but I ate them one day, so I do need to re-up on my sardines. And for the last major pouch, it is my shovel pouch. If you watched my belt video, you saw the shovel, but there is more in here than the shovel. I've got a ratchet strap, not only for the ratchetability, but it's a form of rope. I have a floodlight, tent stakes, of course the shovel. I have twine and nylon rope, because going out and about, camping, packing, whatever the heck you're doing, lots of rope and string can be super helpful. There's also some zip ties mushed in the bottom. There's also some DIY waterproofing wax in my shovel pouch. This wax is good for your shoes, for a tent, for canvas, or anything that needs to be waterproofed. I was using it and I forgot that it wasn't in there. Then I have my first ever little bushcraft purchase. Just this little mini hatchet that I absolutely love and I've had forever, so it goes on my pack. And it just sits in the molly webbing next to the shovel. Then if you saw my belt video, you know of my silky Zubat and my silky Nada. And if they're not on my belt or in use, they slide in the top up here. I also have a pair of ski goggles, not only to protect from the sun, but from dust, and they're just a good eye protection. I do have a clear pair, but we're in Arizona, so I figure the tinted pair is best. I have a hat because sometimes I just need a hat, or maybe someone else needs a hat if we go out and about, but also emergency situations. It can carry stuff, scoop water. I saw this video once where they like folded it and made it into an emergency bandage. Not that you'd really want to do that with a hat, but hey. Then I have my little navigation pouch. In this top little zipper, I have duct tape, a marker, and one of the compasses. On the inside, I have a pen, I have a pencil, I have a protractor, a compass, and one of those magnifying things for like mapping that I can never remember the name of. And this clear piece is meant to have a map in it, but I have yet to get an Arizona map because I haven't gone anywhere where I need one, but that's where my map would go. And then just some paper and a little notebook in the back so I can write down landmarks or the shapes of things, directions, whatever, so I can get to, from, or wherever I'm going. And it is one of the ones that you can like strap onto your wrist. It's kind of annoying. I don't like it very much, but it just stays strapped on my pack. And then I have work gloves that kind of go with the pack, but they're just my work gloves that live on my pack. Sunglass case. I have my Funzy shades and protect my eyeball shades. Safety glasses. I had a friend give this to me. I can't remember where she got it. I think it was from another family member, but she knew how much I love gear, and she gave it to me, and this is like my favorite piece of gear. But it's one of the military water bottles, and it's super great because it comes with the straw connector piece for my gas mask. I just need the straw. And it also comes with a sweet cup, so it's another form of being able to drink out of something or cook. And then, of course, in the side pocket, I've got my iodine tablets. This is a little pouch I made to particularly hold my speaker, just because sometimes it's nice to have tunes, but if you're in like bear country or something and you want them to know you're here, you can play some tunes, but tunes can just be nice to have, unless you don't want people to know you're there. And kind of like the speaker, I have this cup and bear bell. They're really obnoxious, but they make noise while you're walking, so kind of just keeping animals aware of your presence. But also this cup is just kind of like my junk cup where I can melt sap or crayon or wax for whatever. I'm kind of the bushcrafty, crafty cup. And the last piece is this rechargeable lantern. And it's super great because the bottom screws off. I have this little tie down in there, or hang up the lantern. I have a Swiss Army knife. I have its charge cord, some electrical tape, and tin foil in case the battery gets a little funny. And that is my full pack loadout. There's definitely things that I want to upgrade or need to upgrade, partially for weight or just need it to be new, something fancier. Like I could get a smaller, fancier lantern. I want to get a canvas tarp. Like I said, I want to upgrade the hammock and maybe get a fancy tent. There's a lot of things that I do still want and need in my aid kit, but I need a bigger aid kit. But I could pretty much take this pack and be able to live out of it for a while. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's so much stuff. It pretty much depends on what you feel like carrying and how much you can carry. And my weight limit is 50 pounds. Like I'm not going to be able to pack it forever very comfortably, but I can pack 50 pounds. But I try to keep it between like 35 and 40 pounds. And the one time that I did weigh this pack, it was about 35 to 40 pounds. So I'm like right in my comfort zone. But I do want a bigger pack that can hold my pouches nicer and to be able to hold a little more. But the fact all my pouches do fit on the pack fairly nicely, a little chunkily, but I really love this pack and I can't wait to keep upgrading my pack until I find like my perfect one. I think I'm kind of a snob when it comes to things, but it's also nice to build up with your packs instead of buying a huge one that doesn't work and another huge one that doesn't work. I kind of work with one for a while until I think I found one that I'll like better and slowly upgrade in that fashion. I hope my pack loadout maybe gave you some ideas, but I definitely would love any ideas you may have for me, things that I'm missing, may want, don't know that I may want or need, but I definitely know there's a lot missing. There's definitely extra stuff, but this is my pack setup that I love. And it doesn't mean all of this is always on here. This is just what can be on here. But what I would super love is a pack that could also accommodate my bug out roll. Do you want to check out the bug out roll? Peace out, gear junkies.